Reward and respect cause us to quarrel and make hearing, thinking, and meditation decline. For this reason, give up attachment to the households of friends, relations, and benefactors. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Harsh words disturb the minds of others and cause deterioration in a bodhisattva's conduct. Therefore, give up harsh words which are unpleasant to others. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. Habitual disturbing emotions are hard to stop through counteractions. Armed with antidotes, the guards of mindfulness and mental alertness destroy disturbing emotions like attachment at once as soon as they arise. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. In brief, whatever you are doing, ask yourself, what's the state of my mind? With constant mindfulness and mental alertness, accomplish others' good. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. To remove the suffering of limitless beings, understanding the purity of the three spheres, dedicate the virtue for making such effort to enlightenment. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. For all who want to train on the bodhisattva path, I have written the 37 practices of bodhisattvas, following what has been said by the excellent ones on the meaning, sutras, tantras, and treatises. Though not poetically pleasing to scholars, owing to my poor intelligence and lack of learning, I relied on the sutras and the words of the excellent, so I think these bodhisattva practices are without error. However, as the great deeds of bodhisattvas are hard to fathom from one of my poor intelligence, I beg the excellent to forgive all faults, such as contradictions, non sequiturs. Through the virtue from this, may all living beings gain the ultimate, conventional, altruistic intention, and thereby become like the protector Chenrezig, who dwells in neither extreme, not in the world, nor in peace.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Is there any missing? Everybody? Everybody there, right? Well,
Everybody, everyone.
okay, that's good. Okay, today. Oh, namaskar. One Indian. Today special, one Tibet, one Indian here. So maybe they came once before, I remember.
Yeah.
Today also. Only 2 Tibet people in the Rochester right now. So I got one companion, Tibet student. And Indian, Bharat, in Hindi. Tibet and Bharat 2600 साल के पहले दोस्ती पक्का है. आपको समझ आया? हाँ, हमारे ये है ना, जैसे छोटी मोटी का कोई रिश्ता नहीं है, लंबे चौड़े का रिश्ता है. सो अभी परम्पर दलाई लामा को इंडिया के गेस्ट, इंडिया सरकार ने कह रहा है दलाई लामा जी जो भी अब चाहिए तो वो भी कर सकता है. चल ये हाउ टू से एकदम फ्री है, हमारे चिप कैसे. कहीं भी जा सकता है, जो भी कर सकता है, अपना मर्जी। सो इसलिए तो बहुत खुशी है दलाई लामा को इंडिया में, पता है ना। सो भारत तिब्बत 2600 साल की मेरी दोस्ती पक्का है। ये बुद्ध भगवान की तरफ से, वो माउंट कैलाश की तरफ से। सो अभी तक ठीक किया रहा है, मोर ये है रेस्पेक्ट ईच अदर। सो इसलिए तो हम कहना चाहते हूँ धन्यवाद आई यहाँ ठीक आज। आपको हिंदी समझ आया नहीं है ना? बिल्कुल है ना। वो कभी कभी तो हम ये है मानता है हम न दर्दी में पैर रखना चाहिए। आपको पता है ना ये वहां पूरे थे। हाँ, अरे हम न दर्दी के, अब हम न दर्दी में पैर रखना पड़ेगा। दैट मीन्स वी नीड गो टू इंडिया समटाइम्स एंड नेक्स्ट। या okay, thank you. I just a little bit slightly told in Hindi, but that means in Tibet in India, so 2,600 years already good friendship. So far, perfect relationship Tibet and India. So therefore, when His Holiness Dalai Lama left on land, a Chinese occupy or invented in China, how to say in Tibet, and then His Holiness took the refuge in India. So since that now is probably almost 70 years ago, very good, like similar, like on land in India. In India, government says, okay, His Holiness Dalai Lama, you are very special, the Indian guest, chief guest. Wherever you want to go, you can go. And whatever you do, you can do. Because you are the priority in the Indian government and the public. So, but in Chinese government very much deny to go to the Arunachal Pradesh because they are border. And many places, the Chinese always say something, Dalai Lama, you cannot go there. But Indian government say you can go there. So that's why Dalai Lama going there all the time. So all the conditions, whatever Tibet government exile need, Indian government support. So recently, these 2 months ago, the Dalai Lama got very highest level of the security. They call the zeal security things, like double triple militaries and bodyguards there right now. So therefore, India is very grateful for Tibet people. Right?
Yeah.
So now we are Rochester at the White Lotus. This is just comes karmic systems. Right? Okay, thank you. Last 2 Sundays before, right?
Yeah.
What we taught?
Yeah.
Buddha. What is Sanskrit word? Remember? Bhagavat. Buddha. Bhagavan. Bhagavat. Right?
Bhagavanti.
Yeah, so there 4 things, 6 things, and 2 things. All the Buddha's qualities. Right? Buddha's special attribute. 4 things, 6 things, and 2 things. 4 things completely destroyed, and he has 6 qualities, things, right? And free from 2 extremes. That makes sense, right? That is called the Buddha Bhagavat. So reality, there's no any negative emotions with the Buddha. All the qualities with the Buddha. right? Buddha already free from both of samsara and nirvana, right? We think nirvana is a good thing, but reality for prevention of nirvana or temporary nirvana is not actually perfect situation, relatively. I mean, relatively, right? So we need final or ultimate nirvana. That is only Buddha hold. But Bhagavan ki jaga. So we need these things. So therefore, if we understand Buddha's qualities or Buddha's attribute things, and then we more excited to study, to practice, and to learn some Buddhism. If we do that things, and then we will get there sooner or later, sooner or later, whatever.
Yeah, sooner or later.
Yeah. That means we already start to go to on the way. Right? So they will achieve there. So we have done 4 destroyer things. Already done, right? Today, the 6 excellent qualities of the Buddha. Right?
Right.
So first one is this perfect power. Perfect power.
Power.
This power is not like regular power. Like not money power, not muscle power, not political power. Right? The which power? Huh? What? You think? So we need to know that, right? So that means Buddha or the possess perfect power, right? What is possess?
Possess. As.
What is this? Like power, loving kindness power, and compassion power. That is called the perfect power. So we every single morning, every Sunday morning, we read or we chant the 4 immeasurable things. Everybody, I believe, already memorized. 4 immeasurable. So real 4 immeasurable, who has? Only Buddha has. Might be or might we think we have 4 immeasurable. Huh? Maybe somebody think, huh? You think or not? Huh?
Until something goes wrong.
Yeah, many people around the world, they think I'm compassionate.
Right. Right.
They say like this.
Right.
They say themselves, or the other people say they are very compassionate. Right? Yeah, could be, who knows? But immeasurable, 4 immeasurables. This is really, I would say, the Buddha's special attributes. That's for sure. The Lord Jesus Songgon said, 4 immeasurable are essence of the Buddha. Yes, you need to know that. Right? So what the mean immeasurable? This is a big meaning. Whatever we have, loving kindness and compassion, naturally all the sentient beings have loving kindness and compassion. Even the tiny bugs, they have. And the dogs, the cats, tigers, lions, and elephants, they have the loving kindness and compassion. Compassion. Right? But very much limited.
Mhm.
So you think you have immeasurable loving kindness and compassion? If you reflect yourself, very easy to understand.
Mhm.
You think your loving kindness and compassion, how many people you do? Huh? Fully your, friendships, and your friends, your relatives, your family member. So good enough, your compassion and loving kindness? And not. In the morning, it looks like really compassionate, but afternoon sometimes matters come, not really compassion already gone. So that is not called immeasurable loving kindness. So therefore, Lord Ji tells them, I'm very much inspired that word. The four immeasurable are the essence of the Buddha. That means real or immeasurable, only Buddha has. Only Buddha. So the last say equanimity,
Mhm.
right? Equanimity, loving kindness, and compassion. It's very difficult to get there, but we have seed to become Buddha. So therefore, now what we need to do is start practice, try to improve our loving kindness and compassion day-to-day life, right? And think wisely. If somebody difficult situations and somebody really needs your help, you do immediately, right way. That is practice your compassion and loving kindness. So many people think loving kindness and compassion practice means I need to sit down and then close the eyes and then think about loving kindness and compassion. But this is real. One of the practice the compassion and loving kindness. But real, we need to take real action. Right? Everybody, most people, you knows the definition of the compassion. The wishing compassion and engaging compassion. They both need goes together. When you see somebody difficult and disaster things comes, you feel pity. You do the mercy things and compassion. But only you just wish to free from sufferings. That's a good thing, but you need to do something for them. That is real compassion. Right?
Mm.
And then one day where we will get and the Buddha word. And then when one day we will, find out the immeasurable compassions. So if you achieve that kind of levels, and then you no need to think any for others. Goes effortlessly, spontaneously, and tirelessly. These three things only Buddha can do. We cannot. I mean, I don't know that you are, but I cannot do that. That's for sure. Three things you understand? What does I'm saying? For help for others, for doing something for others. Three things. Buddha, how Buddha does? First, effortlessly. Second, spontaneously.
Mhm.
A third, what to say, just right before, tirelessly. Nobody do that. Nobody can do that things. And then good things, right? I mean, you want to do that or not? So these things is called the nous power. Okay, perfect power. That is Buddha house. Okay. A second thing, nous today is going first. Okay. Second Buddha's attribute one, contribute. No, attribute.
Attribute.
So that is called the in Tibet for the so pusum soba. That means perfect form. Everybody knows, many Bala, you know, I know. We always talking about measure marks and manner marks. Buddha's body's qualities, right? You know, right? That. So I saw some different translations. The text, measure marks and manner marks. So which one is a big number?
The major.
That's for sure, right? A manner is a less number.
Yeah.
Right?
Major marks and the minor marks. Yeah.
Measure marks and manner marks.
Yeah.
Buddha has actually, in literally translation, literal translation is called the Tsen Sambu Sumchu Tsani. That means good name, 32 good name. Okay. And the Beji Sambu Jechu, that means 80 at 0, 80 perfect examples. So which one measure mark is manner mark?
The first one.
Which one?
The
32?
The 32.
32, which one?
Yeah,
major or minor?
Major. 32 is the major.
And 80?
Minor or
why?
Well, the major ones, the ones that you usually see, like in the statue, whereas the minor ones generally people don't know about.
Oh, I feel like this is something, but whatever, just leave it. Okay, this is complicated.
Yeah.
All this, how much total?
That's what, 102? Anyone add?
How much? Who is good at mathematics? Huh?
Thank you.
Who is good at science?
Samana.
Well, see, 112. Okay, that's perfect. So Buddha has only this quality only for bodies. This, how much? 100?
112.
12. They say, if we really almost, pretty good remove the art of circulations, we can see these 112 qualities of the Buddha's body. You understand? So it actually is Buddha when I was alive in India. So Buddha's ears and shoulders, trunks, everything totally different. Right? So totally different. This is if you want to know this 32 or 80 different qualities of the bodies, and then you read the Paramita texts.
Yeah.
Everything is detailed there, written by Buddha material.
Maitreya.
And Asanga. Okay. So major marks and minor marks qualities Buddha has. We don't. really. Somebody when Buddha was alive in India, somebody asked, Buddha, you never tell the lie. And then Buddha said, well, yeah. And then, what do you have proof? Can you show me anything? And Buddha turned, put down, and go there in the earth. So this is proof I never lie. The other people just kind of, So then Buddha asked, can you do that? No, always lying. The big things and small things or whatever. Right? So many things. One day, probably we can study these things, okay?
Yeah.
Today you need to know some of your good things. So how much numbers? Total, huh? 100 tropes. Only thing 100 tropes attribute and qualities only Buddha have.
Yeah, he just mentioned. He just mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Study. And they're more inspiring to study with this. Okay, number which one, Paula? No.
Three.
Okay, number three. Perfection. In Tibet called the Pe Pusum Soba. That is a perfect glory, right? Glory. And some translation is splendor.
Perfect splendor, perfect glory.
Right. So what is that? Perfect glory. What is example you have? So we need to talk. This is Buddhas or ordinary peoples. Know that. You think? I ask you. And what is called the actually, in fact, inner qualities and external qualities. So you think, what is the inner qualities and external qualities?
Is that what they're showing, Khenpo, in the statue? You have the nimbus around the Buddha. Is that showing his glory?
Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah.
But Buddha actually has naturally illuminations like sun, shining or light. Yes, what is called
like a halo.
Emanate.
Yeah.
You understand? Radiates.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
You have? We don't have that kind of power and blessing things.
Yeah.
So therefore, these glories and auspicious, it's like whatever we see, whatever we know, it's a little different for Buddhas. You understand what I mean? Okay, this is perfect. Everybody knows the magnificence.
Magnificence.
Yeah, the Buddha has. Real things, these things, their quality, inner things, and quality external circumstances. So everything's perfect. Okay. And number 4, Takpo Pusum Soba, in Tibet called the Takpo Pusum Soba. Takpo Pusum Soba, I don't know English much, but very famous.
Fame.
Not only popular, famous. Naturally, the Buddha's names in the air of the world. All the perfect things goes the name. So now in this universe, most people knows the Buddha. And also everybody talking about Buddhas. At least they believe or not, they are Buddhists or not. Buddha, everybody compromise and praise. Even some non-believers is very sensible about this cause.
So I just added for you. And the nurse was from Guatemala. No, Venezuela. And she read my chart and it said I was a Buddhist. I said, what is this Buddha? And I said, what Buddha is the teacher? Oh, what God do you believe in?
Right.
But was her first question really was, what God you believe in?
Yeah. And with the Dalai Lama, Khenpo, so much of that has come to be known. I mean, Dalai Lama won the Nobel Peace Prize, and suddenly the whole world had heard of the Dalai Lama. Many people had before too, but almost as something unusual.
Right. That's I know. That's right.
This very mysterious country off in the distance, Tibet. Nobody knew anything. China invades. Suddenly there's headlines. People start thinking, magazine articles. But it was really when he won the Nobel Peace Prize that suddenly Buddhism has good reputation. I meet many people, like George says, if they know, they don't necessarily know anything about Buddha or Dharma or anything, but they have good feeling.
Right. So this is Buddha's fairness, perfect fairness. For us, I mean, for ordinary people, if somebody compromise behind us, but somebody criticize us, right? That's for sure. So Buddha is perfectly, only this Buddha's famous is not only for the human realms, including the God realms. So in the history, so many gods, the bow to Buddha and this, how to say, saluted to Buddha, posted to for Buddha. So many things in the Dharma history. Okay. So anyway, which one?
5.
Number 5 already?
No.
Huh?
Good.
At the starting, number 5 start.
I think we're starting with 5, right? Right.
Huh?
Let's ask our mathematician.
Oh, this is really most important things. Most. And the key factor, priority. What is going is
Vital. Key.
and crucial. These things really. This talking about Buddha's wisdom. So Buddha has two different wisdoms. Only two things, two different wisdoms. Right? That wisdom And so just we regular talk about the human beings' wisdom is totally different. So therefore, in the Sanskrit word, it's called the Jaina. But I don't really see yet in English any translation of the Jaina. Okay, but only we use the wisdom. Wisdom in Sanskrit, the Pancha Paramitas, right? Pancha Paramita.
Paramita.
Pancha. And the real wisdom, I mean, the Buddha's true wisdom is real, they call the Yishi, Tamchi Chembe Yishi. That means omniscient, the wisdom. We use wisdom. If I try to translate the real Jaina, is in Tibet called the Yishi. Yishi, Ye is primordial. And primordial wisdom is called the Yishi. Right?
It's tough. There's no English word.
That's right. That's why if translate.
Yeah.
But if there's no any familiar, just leave it. That's better. Okay. But I'm just right now trying to translate according to Tibet text, Yishi. Ye is primordial and She is wisdom. Shut up. So real meaning is no thought consciousness. And if you pay attention, Garchen Rinpoche always mention people what is different, Yishi and consciousness. Namshi, in Tibet called the Namshi and the Yishi. You let her pay attention to listen the Garchen Rinpoche's teaching. Rinpoche always using Namshi and Yishi. Namshi is consciousness. And Yishi is primordial wisdom. Right? That means the consciousness with the thought. The Yishi is there's no thought. That means no dualistic mind. Therefore, no thought. The thought created all the suffering. Yes or no?
Yes, exactly right.
That's the problem.
One is the primordial wisdom, but then the other is knowing by the divisions.
Exactly.
So as long as we're attached to those divisions, we're always going to go wrong.
Yes.
But Buddha had no attachment to the divisions. He had primordial. He could see the divisions, but from the primordial aspect, you might say.
Buddha said,
no mistake.
Exactly. Buddha said literally, the divided things start by ourselves. First to say, I and you.
Right, there we go.
See, only two things.
We're off and running.
Then we just keep talking whatever good things I need.
Right.
I don't know you need something like that, like not balanced there. Whatever we say, or mother sentient beings, or my friend, relationships, family members, or grandpa, grandma, or father, mother, whatever say, ultimately priority for ourselves.
Yeah.
And the Tibet, they are very good idioms.
Idioms.
Yeah, idioms, slang.
Yeah.
You know, they say the father and other people, you do more important your father. But your father and you, more important you do yourself.
Right.
Right? So similar, everybody same function for perspectives. So that real me is we lack of practice, like bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, real definition is called the enemy of the self-cherishing attitude.
Mm.
You got it?
Mhm.
That's very important. So self-cherishing attitude makes us always problem, suffering, complicated. So therefore, bodhicitta mind is enemy of the self-cherishing attitude. That's perfect, makes sense, right? Think that way, start practice today. Nevertheless, right, Pala?
It's true.
Yeah, something like that, but I don't know. Okay, I'm just here. Today is in brief. And keep in the mind, Buddha has two omniscient wisdoms.
Mhm.
One is called the relative truth of the omniscient wisdom. One is called the absolute omniscient the wisdom.
Mhm.
That means Buddha knows all the phenomena, things detailedly, completely. That is called the absolute truth. No, relative truth, or what is called other English word, conventional
Conventional.
truth, knowing things. And the other thing is absolute truth, the knowing things.
Mhm.
That is called the omniscience of the wisdom. Two things, okay?
Mhm.
Think that way. And then next Sunday, I will try to explain more detail about two omniscient of the wisdom,
Mhm.
right?
Thank you.
One in brief, one is all the universe's things. Buddha knows all the universe's phenomena, situation, and function. And one thing Buddha knows all absolute of reality situation. Right? We don't know anything, even what happened tomorrow. Right? You know
Mhm.
what happened tomorrow? Do you know?
Mhm.
We don't know. Because why? We have lots of obscurations. That's the really. So Buddha already removed the both of obscurations. Emotional obscurations and cognitive obscurations. So that's what Buddha is Buddha,
Mhm.
right? So we just keep saying, I wish, if I could. We keep saying like that. But if we start today, definitely one lifetime could be get there. That's for sure. Because we believe karmic systems. If we start today, that is cause, and tomorrow comes effect. Whether you like that or not, doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
Right? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, 11:01, now is perfect time.
Maybe one comment, Khenpo, if I can.
Sure, Paula, you
Because,
can
You
comment.
know, you hear all these qualities and all these things. Sometimes people get kind of discouraged. You know, they say, "Oh, this is just like impossible or something." But what helps me so much is knowing, because the the teachings tell you how to do the practice. I mean, in other words, when you hear all these qualities of the Buddha, that seems like that's amazing. But when you hear that bodhicitta is the cause of that, then it becomes one thing. And then these two great Indians, I kind of confuse the way they do it, but Maitreya and Asanga. So they talked how to develop bodhicitta, because sometimes you get to the point it just seems, because it's non-conceptual, we kind of think like, oh, I don't know what to do, because we're living in our conceptual head all the time. But these two different ways, one is it Asanga? I'm not sure, is what the Dalai Lama teaches, the Tonglen, the exchange of self and other. You know, that's just very simple, but you do that, that gets you beyond. And the other way of developing bodhicitta, I think it's Maitreya had this like 10 steps or 8 steps or something like this. And the last step is you realize, you start thinking of other sentient beings, all been your mothers, how much they've done for you, and you have this gratitude. And then naturally arises, 8th step or something, this desire to want to save all those motherly sentient beings because they're still suffering. And the realization that you're kind of powerless to do that. That feeling of powerlessness is the final step. You jump into bodhicitta. You kind of give up your self-clinging because you realize your self-clinging is not going to do it. So what I'm saying is that sometimes people feel this sense of discouragement. That's actually a good sign, not to act on it and be discouraged and quit. But the fact that you're seeing the limits of your own conventional mind is a very positive thing. So it's just to say that sometimes we hear all these wonderful things. And I know when I first came across these, you kind of feel like, oh my goodness, it's hopeless. That's so different from me. But it's not. It's actually our nature. And so the practice also tells you how to, and it's just completely positive.
Right. I need the academic caution, so, but I need the with the really meaningful caution. That's what, meaningful for everybody. Mhm. That's for sure.
One thing, which is why one thing I could never get past is why the marks of the Buddha is so important. So originally I thought, okay, so that's so that we can tell who the Buddha truly is in comparison to someone who might say they're the Buddha.
Mm.
But I could never, I still can't place its importance in terms of my practice. Like it's also in the Diamond Sutra, which I studied, continue to study really well, the marks of the Buddha and why, you know, it comes up, but I can't make it fit into why it should be important to me.
So that
I'm honestly confused.
exactly, you need more study.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because why? All the confusion is part of the ignorance. So if you confusion, you have confused and confusion, ignoring if you don't understand, and then that means you need more studies. That's only way. Special for your confusion about the Buddha's marks, like major marks, minor marks, right? So now, just I mentioned, we have lots of obscurations. So we cannot understand for everything Buddha mentions. If we completely understand, that means we become already Buddha.
Mm.
Right? So therefore, I think we need to study more and more with the different levels texts. Of course, I believe, I believe means I know that you study for Diamond Sutta. That is profound. So there says a Diamond Sutta, when I was very young, my daily prayer, Diamond Sutta actually.
Mm.
So there say, so your eye consciousness is not reliable.
Mm.
Your nose conscious is not reliable. Okay? And the similar, everything your consciousness are not reliable. Then what is reliable?
Mm-hmm.
You think that way?
Mm-hmm.
You study that? So then what is reliable, you think? That's why you have confusion. We need to study. We need to study. That's for sure. Me too. I'm so confused all the time. Special for Diamond Sutra, Heart Sutra. They say no eyes, no consciousness, blah, 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 right?
Ironically, Heart Sutra, I get.
You got?
I feel when I read the Heart Sutra and when I say the mantra, it resonates in my bones.
Whoa, okay.
When
And then
I-
what happened after that?
Then I go, then
That's
like everything
pretty
else,
amazing. I would say, really. So then
It's
what
like-
happened after that?
it's like anything else pleasurable. Then I
course.
wake up and
And then gone? Huh? So that is also the Heart Sutra is a similar. The I consciousness, there's not reliable,
formist, yeah,
you think? So then what do we need to do? What do you think?
practice more.
Exactly, you got it. That's really good enough. Okay.
With my hands held over my head, I jump into the void. There you go.
Also special for not only these things is very, very special, but if the some dear meditation, we can meditate and practice for they call the ganjo in Tibet ganjo. Ganjo means very faster legs
Mhm.
training.
Mhm.
If you do that meditate, you don't need to take any vehicles.
Mhm.
Much faster than in Taiwan, in Japan, there are one trend.
Mhm.
They call the kote, right? In the US, not yet.
Mhm.
Very faster express the trend. Much more faster and more faster airplane, your walk.
Right.
So there is no need to transcend it. Ordinary people can do that. No need vehicle, bus, car, or whatever. Mala never already become the Buddha. There's no question. Okay,
Okay, tea break.
tea break.